All right, we have another very special episode of UnPack Pittsburgh Podcast. We are on location in the beautiful South Park, located in the South Hills. I believe this is still considered Allegheny County. It's a beautiful sunny day. We were going to record inside, but we had to do it outside. So hopefully the mics do their job and cut out all the birds and all the cars driving by. But let's get into it. So today, this is what I like to call the People of Pittsburgh podcast, right? So there's two versions of the UnPack Pittsburgh podcast. One, we find amazing people to highlight and learn about. And then the second is on Friday, Alaina and I, we do the Happy Hour podcast where we try to find a cool bar or restaurant, go there, meet with some on the staff, and kind of unpack what happened that week for UnPack Pittsburgh, as well as what's going on in the city of Pittsburgh. So enough about UnPack Pittsburgh. Let's get to know our guests. So why don't you guys take a second and just introduce yourselves.
All right. Hi, I'm Alaina Woderak, Alaina_Woderak on social media. I grew up in Pittsburgh, lived here my whole life, and I'm a senior at West Virginia University. I'm majoring in fashion merchandising and minoring in social media marketing. I love it there. And over summer, I am full-time content creator and during the school year.
Hi, my name is Sela Simonetta, just Sela Simonetta on all social medias. I am from North Huntington, Pennsylvania, born and raised there. I am a recent Pittsburgh college grad.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I went to Pitt Greensburg, and I'm 22 years old, and I work full-time as online sales and doing content creation on the side.
Excellent. So we'll probably title the podcast like Two Local Pittsburgh Content Creators. We might even do a little fun segment where we do some rapid-fire questions. First, before I start asking, I do want to say thank you to both of you. I know, Alaina, you have a little bit more experience as the co-host of the UnPack Happy Hour, but I do know how much you despise being in front of the camera. And Sela, this, I believe, is your first time being on a podcast. Is that right?
Yeah.
So I definitely appreciate it. They were a little nervous, but they're overcoming their fears, and I definitely appreciate both you guys coming by. So, content creators, for how long have you guys been doing this about?
I would say since like 2020 is really, like during COVID is when
Was the pandemic one of the reasons why you kind of like you were just sitting at home and said, what the heck am I going to do?
Yeah, I mean, I saw a bunch of other people just doing it, and I was like, well, I like doing all this stuff. I like taking content. I like fashion. I like beauty. Why can't I do it? So that's really when I kind of just started posting.
That's a great question. One of the things that, quotes that we said in one of the last ones was, in the first podcast, was from Ray, and it was like, if not now, when? But that's another great quote is like, why not me? Like, if you're passionate about something, you see something that, you could spend your time in, and there's a lot of things that we could choose to do with our time that's destructive. This is probably fun. Some might call it therapeutic. There's a lot of benefits, could be financially, but that's awesome that you were able to kind of use such a interesting time in the world to kind of create something. So good for you. How about you?
I've been taking content creation seriously for about like 2.5 years now. I've always been interested in social media. Growing up, I modeled, and I was really into art, photography, so all of it together, plus fashion, of course, is kind of like my form of art, I would say. It's like I'm the artist for my social media when it comes to planning all the details, the location, the outfit, directing a video, like planning a script. All of that comes together, but yeah, I love it.
That's cool. It's very cool. So I have a question. The difference between, and Alaina, you can answer this one first, is the difference between a content creator and an influencer.
They're kind of the same terminology. It just depends on what word you want to use. I prefer a content creator. I think it's a little more professional, like that's a job title. Some people do say influencer. A lot of people call me an influencer, but I don't want to act like I'm manipulating anyone or forcing anything. I just post what I like, and some people like that.
Yeah. Well, we might get into the second half of that. What would you call yourself? Do you call yourself a content creator, or what's the phrase like when someone says, and I know this, once again, I should preface, you said this isn't your main full-time job, but if someone does say, oh, do you do that, how would you say?
I would probably say content creator because I feel like they kind of work hand in hand, just depending on what you create. Content creation, I feel like it's a broad subject. Like influencing, you can post like what you like and influencing people to buy certain things if you like it or if they like it. And content creation, like, is just day-to-day life or outfits. Like, it's not really like you can influence them to do the same, but
And you would consider yourself lifestyle, or like, is there is there variations of content creators, or how does that work?
I definitely think there's variations just depending on what your niche is.
Okay.
They have food content creators if you like to cook, fashion, what else?
Yeah, like travel.
Yeah, travel.
Some are just beauty.
Right. So I feel like me personally, I like to do all of that. So I kind of just keep it into like lifestyle. Like, I love to travel. I love beauty. I love fashion. I love food. So like I kind of just make that my brand and I just do it all.
Yeah, it's pretty cool for a job of content creation. Like, you can kind of pick what areas really apply and add enjoyment to your life, where, you know, other jobs, sometimes things that fit the description for your job title are things that are just a headache or some kind of struggles. And I know there's still stuff that comes behind the scenes a lot of times with a content creation profession or job. But it's just like nice that you can say, hey, I'm going to travel. This helps me create content. Hey, I'm going to pick a nice, cute outfit out. This creates good content. Is there a brand as far as like clothing or whether it be food or drink, or is there a brand that stands out? One, that you've done before that you've said, wow, that was a great video. Or two, if the brand is listening, and we'll tag them because you got to give these girls some some clout. Is there your favorite one maybe that you've done so far, and something that if you might want to be passionate about doing in the future?
Well, I was really excited to collab with Good American. I had a fashion scholarship gala in New York, and one of our speakers there was Emma Grede, the co-founder of A Good American, along with Khloe Kardashian. So a week after I got home from that trip, they reached out via email, and that was really exciting for me.
Yeah, that's cool that they took the time to reach out. I could imagine as a brand, like not for UnPack, but for Stonewater, like when maybe we'll hint that we've worked with you guys before, but like there's so much going on in a company. And I would say the digital side, the content creation side is still a little new for some companies. And I could see how something like that, like even something so simple as like a reach out or a thank you or just an email or text, sounds so simple, but I could see that getting lost in, you know, and all the other stuff. So that's really cool that company took the time to do that. I'm sure it meant something.
Personally, I haven't worked with like many like fashion companies, but some Amazon, like small what
brands?
would you call it? Yeah, small brands. They would reach out and like send me a shirt or send me like a phone case and just post about it. So like mainly Amazon has been a big thing for me.
Cool.
And I love their fashion on there.
So I have to ask, that's probably something that when people think of becoming a content creator, influencer, whatever the verbiage you choose, I bet you, I don't know this for a fact, but I would think that there is probably some sort of stigma or thought process of they just get a bunch of free stuff and they post it and that's all they freaking do. I know that's not, because I see the scenes, I see what you do for UnPack. Like, what is that process? Like, do people like how do they find your address, or like how do they, for the people listening who want to get into content creation or are curious how they might start working with brands? That's the first question. Second, you know, if there's a brand out there, how might they reach you to see if you could start promoting their stuff?
Well, I have my email listed in both of my social media bios, so that's how a lot of brands can reach out to me through there if they come across my page. Using hashtags can help them lead to you.
Okay.
And once you first start out, you'll do gifted campaigns, so they'll send you an item in exchange for you to post it. But once you start growing your following and get that engagement, then you can start charging for posts.
Okay. I'm not going to ask what you charge. I want to, but by the time you see it, it's probably going to go up. How about you?
Yeah, just the same thing. I have my email, and a lot of companies will just message me directly on Instagram.
Okay.
And just like she said, you'll start off with gifting. They'll send you it, and then you just have to post about it. Well, they'll be like, oh, post a reel and a post, or like post a story and a reel. And then as your engagement gets higher, you can start charging as well.
I could see as both of you guys grow your brand and your following and your clout, you'll have like, it might have already happened, but like a decision eventually to make. Like I could see certain brands reaching out, and then you have to choose one, does it fit to your brand?
Mm-hmm.
But then also, do you personally like believe and back that? Because
Right.
I have seen, I mean, we live in a world of cancel culture and things like that, and it happens. Like you do have to be aware of what you're promoting. Like if someone sent me, who I have 3 followers, all family members, like if someone sent me a drink to promote it, I'd be like, heck yeah, I'm going to do it. But like, I don't know the ingredients. I don't know anything about it. But like, I'm sure you guys have to kind of think a little bit more. That's probably a process.
Yeah, definitely. I'm on my emails like all day long. I get about like 10 each day. And a lot of them I do say no. It depends on the product too, and if they're willing to have a budget for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a lot of supplements out there, and if I don't believe in it, I'm not gonna promote it.
For sure.
Yeah, it definitely has to match my brand though. Like one of them was a surface cleaning spray. I don't really post that kind of stuff, so
She doesn't clean at all. I'm just kidding.
I do.
No, yeah, that's like the same thing. So if it's like, for example, I was working with a hair care company, and then another one, like a few more reached out. I was like, I don't know if I want to do this right now. Like I'm already working with one.
Mhm.
I'm not going to post their stuff and then the next week post another hair care. That would kind of be like
Yeah.
silly. So yeah, same thing. Like just picking and choosing and researching the brand before you say yes, and make sure it aligns with your brand.
Yeah, it's interesting. So for Stonewater Salon and Spa, we've worked with influencers or content creators, and it is interesting from our perspective, the business perspective, of how that content gets absorbed and consumed by their following, right? So most of our following already know, like, trust us. They already are fans. A lot of them are guests and clients. But when someone like, for instance, you guys come in and then you post to your following, that's people who might not know Stonewater. They might not, they don't know about us. So I could see how it is so important for brands to find the right influencers just as much as it's right for you to find the right brands. So that's pretty cool. As far as filming goes, so what have you guys had or found a favorite top 3 best whatever places to film in Pittsburgh? I mean, we literally found this spot on a whim. The roads were closed. The pavilion I picked out was blocked. There was always something on film days, but we made it work. That's why we have sunglasses on. We're not trying to look cool. The sun is out, so don't hate on that. But where do you guys like to film?
Personally, I love filming at my house and outside of my house, just because I do more lifestyle content. So I'll do wake up and get ready with me for the day, a day by the pool. But I also do like just filming wherever I go, like just that lifestyle content. There is a little city, downtown Irwin, near me, which is super cute to take content when I'm down there. Honestly, anywhere for me. So
I was just in Irwin this weekend for the first time ever. It was at a barn venue. So shout out to Josh and Emily for getting married. Congratulations. But it was cool. It was a cool town.
Yeah.
It was cool. I didn't get
cute.
to explore too much, but the area that we were for the wedding was, or the reception or whatever it's called, was fantastic. So how about you?
I work with a lot of brands to do TikTok and Facebook ads. So it'll be like a product video. So I do a lot of those at home. But when I'm not at home, I like to go to coffee shops, definitely. Those are like the top, because I do a lot of outfit videos. So those are like really easy, like just finding a cute little coffee shop. I'm in Mount Lebanon a lot, so that's probably like my top area.
So when you were talking about the pool, my first thought was like, if I was you, it'd like motivate me to always be by the freaking pool. I got to get content. For you, you just said clothes, and then like, you said it's like you might use the word easy, but like, is it like? Because I mean, I don't want to sound like I don't know if this is good or not, but like, if you wear something, does everyone see you wearing that same thing like the next day? You're like, oh, she just posted that. Like, do people ever judge that like you wear the same outfit?
I don't.
Okay, good. I just thought of that.
I don't really. I change it up a lot.
Okay, so you always have to have a lot of outfits. You're always
Yeah,
shopping.
that's definitely a big stressor for me.
You gotta go shopping.
Is forming different outfits. I try not to buy too much, just because that's bad for the environment.
Yeah.
But like moving things around, trying to form different outfits with the same pieces.
How about
is
thrifting?
important.
We talked about thrifting a little bit, but go ahead.
Yes, I love thrifting now. I got into it like this past year. It's really fun. You find like some really unique pieces there that no one else will have.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Sela? Do you thrift?
I have.
Okay.
Not very often, but when I do, I find some good finds.
Yeah, that's something I like never do, but it seemed like it'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
To be honest, kind of like a scavenger hunt.
Yeah.
Something to do.
Yeah, that would be we're going to make content at thrift. We're going to get some thrifters, and we're going to go out. Everyone's going to get a budget, and we're going to see who makes the best outfit. And we're going to make some content on that.
That sounds great.
Okay, so you said your favorite location. If there is someone listening wants to perhaps get into the content creation profession, what advice could you give them, whether it be through your experience or things you've learned? Like, what's some advice?
I would say just start posting. Everything and anything is content. You can do a day in your life, going to get your nails done, going to the grocery store, going to Starbucks, literally anything, and just post it. I think the biggest thing is people care too much about what other people think. Once you drop that, it becomes really easy.
Yeah, I agree. Just be yourself and post whatever you want, and don't let people stop you from doing what you love, and be consistent. If you want to grow at all, like just post whatever and be consistent with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sorry, I wasn't laughing. There was a wasp that just landed here. And I
Yeah.
thought I was going to get attacked. So we can kind of wrap up. But I do have to say, so, you said be yourself. And you kind of said just like do your thing and don't let others kind of like get in your head. While we were setting up for this podcast, I'm not even sure I'm allowed to talk about this, but I'm going to. While I was setting up the cameras and everyone was prepping, Alaina's phone went bing. And we'll call him a jag-off because we're in Pittsburgh, wrote a comment that was like what I would find exceptionally offensive and like hate, if you will. So how do you, and like I'm not sure if you've experienced anything like this, but maybe you can just give some advice on how maybe someone could handle it. But I just experienced that kind of with you, and I was like, WTF. I'm trying to keep it like, I'm trying not to swear, but I was kind of pissed, and you were like, I was like, what? So like, how do you deal with that? Because I'm sure that is a big reason why a lot of people don't just post, because there are those jag-offs out there who just will write things that are just mean.
Yeah, I kind of just laugh it off. I don't take it seriously. I mean, it's some random person, probably from across the country. Like, I don't know. It's not going to ruin my day. I just delete it and laugh about it. I don't know. I mean,
have you been able to
new.
do that forever, or was that something like, to me, like I feel like that's almost like a skill set you need to build up and remember that, I heard this saying one time, like, if you don't have, in today's world in content creation, if you don't have haters, you're not doing something right.
Yeah,
and just that alone is sad. I'm sorry. But like, I do understand it, right? Because if you're not doing something that's worth trying to put down, maybe you're not doing something. But like, have you always been good at like just letting that? Because that seems like that could really cause some angst or anxiety.
I don't know. I mean, I think just growing up, like as a girl.
You have to deal with it.
Yeah, you're used to it. I mean, my parents always told me, like, just let it go. Don't let anyone tell you how you should feel or how you look. You just have to be confident in who you are.
Yeah. That's great advice. Good job, parents. How about you?
I wouldn't say I get that much hate, but when I do, I just ignore it. Like she said, I laugh it off. And the older I get, the more I do that. if you asked me like when I first started, I definitely would have been like very sensitive to it. But clearly, if they're putting you down, you're doing something that they wish they could do or that they don't have, and they're just jealous, I guess.
Yeah.
That's the word I like to use. If they can't support you or just rude and hateful, they just are clearly jealous of you. And
Yeah, I remember listening to a podcast by Gary V, and he was saying, I have empathy for people who hate on me because they're taking time out of their day to hate on me. Like, I feel sorry for those people. And like, it's really, I was kind of pissed. I was like, what the hell? Like, come on. Like, who would write something like that? It's a real profile. It's not like some bot. I was like,
Yeah.
They didn't get any good parenting advice, in my opinion. But I don't want to end on the haters because, that's just a shame, and it's part of the job. And, I would say that there's a lot of people who, would look at content creation as like a gift of a job. And it probably is, to be honest, because you get to live your life and do some fun things and get some access through your work. But it doesn't make it right to just talk crap on someone. That kind of pissed me off. So we're not going to end on that. But we're going to end on, what's your favorite platform to post on? Like, what are you guys working on right now? Is it TikTok, Instagram, Facebook? You might say Discord. Like, actually, that might be for your other gig. So your answer might be really interesting. But go ahead.
Personally, I love doing Instagram and TikTok. I've always done Instagram, but I feel like as TikTok is growing, I'm getting back into TikTok. Just creating just what I would post on Instagram, or I'll create content just for TikTok and then reshare it on my Instagram.
Okay.
So I'll just reuse content. But those are my two main that I use for like content creation and posting.
I also use Instagram and TikTok, and how she said like repurposing, like the videos you post on TikTok, you can also post them to Instagram. So that's really nice for us, and seeing like which one works better on which platform.
Right.
I've been focusing more on Instagram right now since I grew a lot this past month. But TikTok definitely is more time consuming because it's videos and having to plan what you're going to create. But
Is that hard for you? Like, because if you're posting one or every other day, like, you always have to stay ahead of the content machine. Like, how do you...
Yeah, I definitely get burnt out sometimes, but even just scrolling on TikTok and seeing what other people are doing, that inspires me. Or just going about my day and videoing what I do, I can always put text over it and turn it into something useful.
Yeah, I can't help but think it's so cool to be a content creator because it kind of pushes you to kind of get out there. Like, go do more things. Like, I feel inspired to become a golf content creator every day, 36 holes. But, all right, so... we'll do a little outro. We'll wrap it up. Maybe just kind of say for people who are listening, whether it be just listeners, brands, what, if anything, can someone out there who's listening to this, how can they help? Go ahead. You can take it first.
Help what?
Help like hypothetically speaking, like maybe you want to manage people's social media accounts. So if there's brands out there, maybe you could say, hey, if you're looking to grow your digital presence, I can help.
Okay. Yeah, well, I've gotten a lot more into Pittsburgh content. So if you're a Pittsburgh business and need a social media manager or just want a video posted to my account, you can reach out to me. I do want to help my city and use my platform to help.
Unless you're surface cleaning, don't send.
Yeah, I'm mainly looking for like just growing a bigger community and followers, I would say. Just people I can influence, I guess, but just have people who can look up to me, I guess.
Okay.
Or
I could see how I hate the word influencer. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like it. I feel like there's some negative connotations that could be dangerous too. It's also a little stigma in the industry, but like thinking it as a potential almost role model position for someone out there who doesn't have someone. It also depends what it is. Obviously, like drinking a cup of coffee, I don't necessarily think that's, oh my gosh, changing my life inspiration.
Right.
But there are times where maybe you do some things. I told you one of my favorite posts that you did was like a post where you like talked about how like when you first started, you used to be shy filming, and then you just kind of got over and just do it. Like those kind of posts, something so subtle and so simple, there might be someone out there that there's that one line that catches them that could totally change their life forever. I think that is influence, if you will, but not an influencer. 'Cause I hate the word.
Yeah,
But
I agree.
awesome. Okay, well, I think that is it for today. Thank you, Alaina. Thank you, Sela, for joining me outside at South Park for UnPack Pittsburgh Podcast. Thank you.